Hi, and welcome back to Signature Chefs of Orlando. My name is Kathy Belosa. I own Kathy's Cajun Cuisines. This is a gourmet jams, jellies, relishes, and pickled vegetables company. I make the best tasting and flavorful jams and jellies around the state of Florida. Originally, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, so I have a muse on my side, flavor with food. Today we're going to make a no-sugar raspberry pear. This is sweetened with xylitol, so it is low in calories, approved for diabetics because it will not raise your glycemic index. So we start off with 4 cups of raspberries and 2 cups of mashed pears. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're going to turn on our burner. We're using induction burners. It is faster and easier to make your jams and jellies with an induction burner. I put it on a low setting. We're going to just want to get your raspberries and your pears mixed together, and you're going to come to a boiling state. Once we come to a boiling state, we're going to add our sugar and the pectin. Pectin is an agent that keeps your jams together. That is the gelling agent. Okay, the jam has come to a boil, a slow boil, and I've added the pectin to the jam. And again, the pectin is the gelling agent. That's the product that keeps it together. And we're going to go ahead and add in xylitol. And again, the xylitol is the sweetener. Instead of sugar, we're using the xylitol. And then another thing about the xylitol, it is approved by the American Dental Association. It helps eliminate tooth decay, and also will not raise the glycemic index as sugar does. So we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our xylitol. That was 2 cups worth. Stir it in. Stir it up real good, and the color changes drastically once you add in the sugar and the sweetener. So we're going to let this come back to a boil, and after it comes to a boil, we're going to go ahead and jar it. We're going to take our jars. These jars have been pre-washed. We need to sanitize the jar by putting it into this hot water. This canner is full of boiling water. It's at 360 degrees. The reason is we need to put in hot jam into hot jars for the process for it to seal properly. So these don't need to stay in very long, just a few minutes. Normally, I would put them in before I started cooking, but this water is so hot, it's good to go. Lots of steam. And we're going to go ahead and jar them up. This one is already done. And I'm going to go over here. And it's so the color of the jam, it's a brilliant red now. And what we'll do is you pour it into the jars, nice and slow, more in the jar than more out of the jar. Beautiful. And if you could smell it, you would even be more excited than I am. Oops. And if we can't make it into the jar, we do have a funnel that we can use, which I should probably get. And I'll go ahead and do these 2 as well. Oops. Oops. Not too high. That one I put it a little too high, so we're going to remedy that by removing some in a moment. Do you want to... like I said, more in the jar than out the jar. It's better. You fill it up to about 1/8 of an inch high. All right, so, okay. This is good. We'll fill these and prepare these. Now we need to throw our lids into the pot while we're wiping these clean. We want to wipe the rims so that the seal is proper. Proper seal means that you can store it on the shelf unopened for 1 year, up to 2 years or such. As we're in Florida, we don't have cellars, so it really does need to be processed properly. And this is called a hot water bath. And I'm going to take my wet paper towel. And what you want to do is you want to wipe the rims, the top of the jar and the rims properly and clean. So we remove the residue. Now it's a clean jar. I'm going to go ahead and do this for the other 3 as well. See, I made a mess. Easily remedied. Now, if I do not remove the excess jam from the jar, if I have it too high, what's going to happen is when I put it back into the hot water bath, the jam will leak out and the gasket will not seal properly. If that is the case and that happens after a day or 2, you can reprocess it to fix that problem. Okay, so we'll just do those 3. Since this one is a little too high, I'm going to pass on that one. We'll skip that one and do that one a little while. Now we need to remove our lids that we put into the canner. Again, this is very, very hot. You need to have strong fingers. The lids go on top. It is not cold. I do have blisters at times. Hot water is unforgiving. Okay. And then we seal with the band. You don't want to put them on too tight, but they need to be tight enough. If it's too tight, the air doesn't have a chance to escape, therefore it will not seal properly. If it's too loose, then the lid could come off and your jam spills all over your water. So now we're going to put these finished jars back into the water processor for 10 minutes, and when they come out, we'll let them cool. In a day, they should seal properly, which means that this top will sink in, and you will look like this one here. Okay. We have a jar lifter, but I'm going to use this instead today. And we just put the jars back into the hot water, one at a time. Okay. And then we set this on a timer for 10 minutes. We processed our raspberry pear. Now we're going to show what you can use it with, because it's not just for your biscuits. It's not just for peanut butter and jelly. My gourmet delights are spectacular treats. Now this one is nice and warm still because we just took this one out of the canner. So what you can do is when you want to have a decadent dessert, take some angel food cake. It's a low-calorie dessert. Warm up your raspberry pear jam and just drizzle it over the cake for a nice dessert topping. You can put more if you like, less. No one ever wants less. More is better. And just drizzle it over. Because remember, this is a no sugar raspberry pear. We're sweetened with the xylitol. So indulge. Top it with a little bit of Cool Whip. Yummy. But if you do want chocolate or sugar with chocolate, and you have a bridal shower or a special event that you're hosting, and you want to have finger food, we'll take the little chocolate cups and just fill them with the raspberry pear. Now I'm going to use this raspberry pear here because this one has set, so I rather have a little bit more consistency. There you go. So we're going to fill these. Oh, tasty. Put a little more in there. You can see that chunk of the pear. Oh, yes. Fill this one a little bit more. You can also add any kind of jam to oatmeal. Flavor up your oatmeal, get the plain oatmeal, and add jam to it. Very tasty, very tasty. Okay. And last, for your appetizer, before your dessert, this is a brie, a nice soft cheese. And we're just going to top the brie with some of the warm raspberry pear. You can put the brie in a microwave and loosen it, warm it up a little bit as well. Then put the jam on top. And then take a cracker, have jam, the warm brie with the warm raspberry pear, drizzle it off the sides. Let's move the crackers out of the way. Let's just turn it this way. Here. Be generous. Let it drizzle off the sides. And tasty. And voila. So we have appetizer, we have dessert, or special treats. Thank you very much. I'm Kathy Belosa with Kathy's Cajun Cuisines, and you have experienced my gourmet jams and jellies. Thank you to Signature Chefs of Orlando for your time. Have a good day.